I'm Dan St.Yves, and for today I'm with Steve Hansen Smythe, who's going to be playing the title character in another Evening at Fawlty Towers. Although technically, that's not the...
I play Fawlty Towers.
Yes. Right. You're reprising your role as Basil Fawlty, and for people that aren't aware, when did you run this last time?
Well, the Workshop Theatre did 3 of the 12 shows that were originally created in September of 2013. And since there were only 12, and some of them just can't really be adapted for live theatre, these remaining, the 3 that we're doing this year are probably the last 3 that you'll see from Workshop Theatre. I don't think there are any plans to do the remaining ones. So just like John Cleese is doing, running around the world saying, "Last chance to see!" This may be your last chance for a while to see a Basil Fawlty simulacrum live.
And it was extremely popular the first time round. Any idea how you hope to see this one go? Same, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I think the difference is last year I never had a really major role in any community theatre production. I've had lots of experience in relatively minor roles as secondary characters, or but never like the guy. And although it was terrifying, I didn't. I thought, well, I'll just give it a go and see how it goes. And this year, it's worse, right? Because I mean, I've got the previous year's success I've got to do that again. And there are more lines. And so it's hard, but I'm happy to do it.
Well, I'm sure you'll surpass the expectations. And the first time around went very well for you. You won a Willie Award for Best Actor in the Role, and you were nominated for a Cat Award. So for people that may not be familiar, which I can't imagine there's anybody out there that's not a familiar or a fan of Fawlty Towers, what could people expect? All the characters from the TV show?
Yeah, that's true. We've got Basil and Sybil, his wife, and Polly, their housekeeper, and Manuel, their dog's body. We have the cook Terry is the same in 2 out of 3, and in fact the same. We've got a different cook character in the middle one, but he's played by the same guy. We're just padding him out with a fat suit, more or less. And some of the guests at the hotel are the same as last year as well. But the only main character who is played by the same person is me. So I'm working with a new Sybil, a new Manuel, a new Polly.
Wow. Should be pretty interesting to catch. Now, in the show, John Cleese, of course, played Basil Fawlty, and he was here not too long ago. Did you have a chance to go see the man himself when he was in town?
I put off buying my tickets until it was too late, and then it was sold out. So no, I never did. I figure if he really wanted to see me, he would have bought tickets to my show, right?
Well, you never know. He might come back. He enjoyed his time in Canada, I understand.
Yeah, I understand he was in Vancouver yesterday or something like that, doing a book tour or something.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, he was in Vancouver. I thought, well, why don't you just fly over to Calgary? Stick around for a little longer and come to our opening.
We could use some.
I would probably pee myself with terror and then die.
Well, you've had, you've mentioned there that you haven't had a starring role in any show, but you've been a very active fellow here in the Calgary Community Theatre, Cappuccino Musical Theatre, Morpheus Theatre, Storybook. Tell us a little bit about some of your past roles and what you've been doing over the last few years in community theatre.
Let's see, I had great fun playing Ebenezer, the evil wizard, in Morpheus Theatre's, I guess it was Christmas 2012, 2 years ago, their production of Aladdin. I never got to grow a Klingon mustache before, where you just get the ends, right, and the little goatee there. And, a Klingon mustache is pretty good, because, like, you can blow your nose, right, and you don't... Now, this thing... I've had to grow this thing, last year I had to grow a mustache to be Basil, and this year I've done the same thing, and it is coming off right after the show. But with Cappuccino Musical Theatre, that was a very demanding show, and I just played a gangster, a relatively minor character, but there was a lot of singing and a lot of dancing, and that was really fun as well.
So, having to grow a mustache, your timing's not bad, being Movember and all.
Well, I sort of got a good run on it. I had an inkling that I might be playing Basil again as early as about August, so I started on this a little sooner. Can't count it for Movember.
Well, I'm thinking it's right in line with the character, but interesting. You're not the only member of your family that has a bit of a history. Your father has a rather relevant community theatre history here in Calgary.
Yeah, I am a Calgarian because he came to Calgary in the mid-'50s to work with Betty Mitchell at Workshop 14. I mean, he moved across the country in order to be in Calgary's community theatre scene. And he was one of the early members of Workshop Theatre. He was the treasurer of the Workshop Theatre, I think, in like 1974 or something like that. And he did loads of roles with Workshop Theatre. Stage manager, he directed, he built sets, and all of that. And they lost his participation when he retired and moved out to Nanaimo in the mid-'80s.
Wow. So the history, it runs in the blood.
Yep, and my daughter's currently taking musical theatre in Ontario, and she and I have actually been in one show together. We were in Storybook Theatre's production of Annie.
No kidding.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years.
Man, that's something.
Yeah.
Now, you've got quite a blend of skill sets and talents. You're also a composer. You've done work for film, television, all sorts of different things. How did that come about?
Having a degree in composition really helps.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually my training, is as a composer. I've done loads of things, like I've dabbled. I was a naval officer in my 20s. I was a data entry person and piano teacher in my 30s. I've been in IT in my 40s, and now in my 50s. I mean, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but you got to try a bunch of things, and if you're really lucky, you find something that will both make you a living and that you really, really enjoy, that you cannot wait to do. And I haven't exactly found a way to meld all of these things together, but I love theater. I love composing music. I did the music for a couple of my wife's videos. They're really funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my wife's an author and a playwright, so... I've been a music director for one of the shows that she wrote. Yeah.
Man, so it is literally a family affair.
Yeah, it's just that we're never in the same shows. Except for that one time. I've composed music for a couple of productions done by Storybook Theatre a few years ago. There was The Princess and the Pea and The Littlest Pirate. Both of those I composed all of the music and arranged it. Yeah, I don't get very many commissions like that, but those were fun because for the smaller kids and the lower budget people, really all they can do is get a pianist. You cannot score for a small orchestra. It's got to be so simple that people with little vocal training can sing it and pull it off, and someone can sit down at the piano and do the accompaniment. So I think those went quite well. I'm quite proud of them.
Excellent. Well, your website is very informative for people that aren't aware of what you're doing. There's loads of information on some of the stuff you've been in before, and all of your links to some of the stuff that you've worked on in the past for your compositions and stuff. It's quite incredible.
Well, just type Hansen Smythe into Google, and I think I come up at the top.
You sure do. I know you're busy right now. You're helping build the set for the Fawlty Towers show.
We just finished putting everything into the truck after a long rehearsal this afternoon, and tomorrow morning we'll be loading everything from the truck into the pump house. And then, actually, I won't be participating personally in making the set. They have 4 very competent people who know one end of a screwdriver from the other, who will be taking care of that.
Are you in your last few days of speaking normally? When does the British accent kick in?
It kicks in whenever I have a line to say.
I'm anticipating you'll have a sold-out theater there for your run.
Well, I should certainly hope so. I mean, really.
Would you kick them out
to the show, people?
Would you kick them out if they were to sell out?
Oh no! I mean, I've performed in shows where the audience could be numbered in the single digits. I did a show with 9 people in the audience, and it's very hard. But you work just as hard for 9 as you do for 300.
Aww. It's the wonderful thing about being diverse, that you're able to continue to do what you do, and I really think it's going to be a great time. So it's running at the Pump House Theatre, Workshop Theatre's production of Another Evening at Fawlty Towers, November 21st to 29th.
That's right. Every evening, 7:30 p.m., except Sunday and Monday, and we're putting on 2 Saturday matinees as well.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much. I know you're busy like crazy right now, so thanks so much, Steve Hansen Smythe, for having a few moments to chat.
Okay, thanks so much for talking to me, Dan.
Thanks.